talk about overthinking. I want to focus on this topic just for the very fact that I've been experiencing a lot of overthinking very, very recently in the last 2 weeks. But I mean, honestly, overthinking has been something that's been very consistent in my life for as long as I've lived. I think anyone, or just a handful of people, can relate to that for sure. Not even just that though, but overthinking is a process of questioning things, a process of deeply and immensely overanalyzing what is around you, the situations you're in, just your current life in general. Even in connections you have with people, you overthink things. I feel like that's the most common form of overthinking, you know, like when you're starting a new connection with someone, or when you're pursuing a professional opportunity, or just something of that sort that involves in interacting with other people and interacting with new crowds. You know, you get in your mind and you start to overthink, like, is this for me? Is this right for me? Is this truthful? Is this not truthful? Is this a repetition of what I've dealt with before? Is this not a repetition of what I dealt with before? It's like a constant it's like you're having a war zone literally in your brain. And for me, I am the hugest overthinker. I feel like a lot of people in my life can speak to that and be like, yeah, Karina for sure is an overthinker. And it comes from a place of just wanting to be sure and be intentional and be exact with things. And I also do think I overthink because I care. But when it does come to certain aspects, I am headstrong, straightforward, straight to the point. Like, yes, this is what I want to do. Yes, I trust this. Yes, let's get this done. Yes, let's do that. So it really all depends on the circumstance. But lately, I've been feeling myself falling back into that overthinking mindset, and I just felt as though I've overcome a lot of those, I like to call it bad habits, because I'm not gonna say overthinking is 100% negative. Of course not. It has its benefits to it, because you shouldn't just be, you know, always jumping into things without thinking. Sometimes it's okay to be spontaneous, but again, depends on the circumstance, depends on the situation. So I've been feeling myself starting to overthink and overanalyze certain things, and it's just like, whoa, wait, I thought we were through with this. I thought we've made this progress. But I've also been learning that, like, the more and more you do inner work and the more and more you try to learn and grow from certain things, the more and more you're gonna get challenged to go right back from what you're trying to essentially grow from. So that is what I feel like I'm in, and I feel like I see a lot of people talk about that as well. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts lately, and I see a lot of people be like, yeah, when you're trying to elevate, when you're trying to grow, when you're just trying to fit more of what your definition of a successful life looks like, even just like your specific definition, you're trying to go more towards that. You're trying to be the person that you envision yourself to be. You're trying to basically act like the person you want to become, but then it's like the person you currently are, the person you were then, keeps being like circling back up to you, like, hey, are you gonna think this thought? Are you gonna do this? Are you gonna do that? Are you gonna repeat it again? That's what I feel like. I feel like overthinking is literally just repetition. It's like a repetition of a myriad of things. And I feel like I've come on here and I've spoken about the most positive things ever. But again, I feel like I want to highlight overthinking because I feel like that's a really big aspect of my identity and of my personality. And I really truthfully do want to be a person that just knows how to live more in the present moment. Because if you think about it, literally when I first started this video, that's already in the past. You see how like moments just pass by us so quickly without us actually processing it? So then it's like, if you're a person who literally is in their head, you're gonna be more in your head than you are gonna be living. You're gonna be more in your head than you are seizing opportunities. You might miss out on the biggest blessings and the best people or the best situations or the best opportunities or just the best of the best because you're in your head, because you don't see what is right there in front of you. And what is right there in front of you is the present moment. And people like to always say that the present moment is a gift. Sometimes the present moment isn't always a gift. It's a gift to have the opportunity to continue living day in and day out. But sometimes, you know, people's current realities, people's current situations and circumstances they're dealing with isn't always a gift. Sometimes it feels like you're living in hell. Sometimes it feels like you don't know what to do with yourself. Sometimes you feel unsure. Sometimes you're falling back into habits of overthinking and that repetition. And you can use overthinking to your advantage. And I'm starting to see that as well. And I have been seeing that a lot too. But not even that though. Just that repetition, you can turn repetition into good things, if that makes sense. Because if you're repeatedly doing positive habits and you're having consistency, honestly, consistency is so many things. I feel like consistency in communication is like such key factors of life. Like if you know how to articulate yourself and communicate with all kinds of people in all kinds of circumstances, you'll literally thrive in anything. Nothing can literally break you. Because so many people don't know how to express themselves, and then they hold it in, and then they're overthinking, and then they're having those repetitive bad habits. That bad repetition will literally destroy your life. And I was also thinking about the fact of like, when you're in your mind, you're literally destroying every last bit of what you created to be beautiful. And I'm gonna elaborate on that more, because to build anything in the physical reality, in real life, to build something beautiful, it starts in your mind first. So to build a building started in someone's mind. To build an empire, it started in someone's mind. To create something, it started in someone's mind. It's like it all started with a thought. When you are using your thoughts to overanalyze, because when you overthink, you tend to overanalyze what is wrong. You never really try to overanalyze what is right. So when you're overanalyzing these negative factors of whatever you're dealing with, you're creating even more negative factors, and then you're creating that in your subconscious mind, and then you're creating those habits, and then you're living based off of what you're creating and what you're destroying in your mind. And you're literally, the room that you had for the good things in your mind are literally, like I said, they're being destroyed, they're being eradicated. You're not even giving them a chance to grow and to thrive and to multiply. Same way you're multiplying the negative, you should be multiplying the positive in your mind and the positive in your life. So that's just what I'm saying. It's just like that overthinking. Use it to your advantage. Don't let it destroy your life. To go back to what I said about like building an empire, right? Creating something everlasting, creating something that's gonna last for generations after generations, creating something that's gonna last even when you leave this earth. Even when you leave this earth, that empire is still standing. To create something so extraordinary as that, the fact that it can all be destroyed in one day is something you really have to consider. And it can be destroyed just based off of overthinking. Because someone can create something so beautiful, but they get that one wrong thought in their brain and they act on it, and it's all gone. Everything starts with a thought. Everything starts with a feeling. And then it also goes into emotions as well. But that's a whole other aspect. I just wanted to highlight overthinking. So to anyone who's overthinking right now, please step out of your mind. Even leave the room you were sitting in overthinking and just either go outside, go to a different room in your house, or just leave whatever your environment you were overthinking in and just start to live. Like, do something. And I have a good friend of mine who told me, Karina, you need to do something every day that fulfills you. And it's like she was literally talking to my soul when she said this. And I hope she watches this too. She said, you need to do something every day that basically brings you to life. Like something spontaneous. Yeah, so we were having a conversation about being spontaneous. And she was saying how her spontaneous side she's been exploring more, and she feels like that's been bringing her more to life. And I've been seeing it too. Like she's glowing more. And it's beautiful to see a woman just flowing and being in her feminine energy. So for me, I'm like, I have things that feed my soul. Like I have creative projects and little passions that I have. You know, I'm a writer. I love to write. I love to articulate myself. That's always been my thing. And I just find myself not even writing anymore. I feel like I've pulled back from some creative aspects, and even YouTube in itself is a creativity for me. But since this is also just the beginning of my YouTube journey and the beginning of really just immersing myself into this creativity, part of immersing yourself into creativity, being spontaneous, living in the moment, not overthinking the negative, rather even try to overthink the positive, just all these things I'm referring to comes down to the fact that you cannot be in your head. Be mindful of things and not to always just, you know, I'm not saying go get yourself in trouble or go do something dangerous just because you're being spontaneous. No. If you understand the true definition of living in the moment, especially for a woman, especially from a woman's perspective, because, you know, I can only speak so much for men. For men is a whole different thing, but, you know, to live in that beautiful feminine energy and to just flow, and then to see that, and then for you to feel that, and then for others around you to feel that, it's just like, I don't even have a word for it. Like, extraordinary, and all these adjectives I've been using are all understatements. So that's why I said, like, it's okay to sometimes just jump for something, you know? Because once you overthink, you start developing fear. And then you might have someone who you'll talk to about it, and then they'll fearmonger you. And then fear is like crippling. And overthinking is the root of so many things. It's the root of so many things beautiful and so many things that are life-changing, but it's also the root of destruction and the root of destroying what could be. So again, I speak from experience and I speak from the heart, and I hope that I can inspire someone to get out of their head and just go live your life. Go seize whatever's on your heart, whatever's on your mind in a positive light to do, just do it.